Alright guys, we're out here for getting ready to do the first startup on it. So let's cross our fingers and hop in there and see if she starts. Alright, we got our disconnect switch wired up. Comes out from the battery through the 300 amp line fuse. Feeds that side of the switch, and then on the output of the switch we got it going, the wire that goes directly to the starter, and then the wire that feeds the two fuel pumps is on there as well. And then we got our ground, one going to the body, one going directly up to the block, going through that grommet. We got the switch mounted where the filler neck used to be because we're running a fuel cell. So I took out the filler neck and put this disconnect switch in there. So right now it's in the off, and you flip it that way and you got power to the car. It's a safety feature. A lot of tracks require it, a way to kill the power in case of an accident outside of the car. So, but we got that. Got the battery box in there, sealed up. Everything's there. So I don't know if you guys buy these eBay fuel cells, these $100 fuel cells. They come with foam in them. I'm running E85, and you know, people are claiming that E85 chews up the foam. But if you look, if I can get some better light down there, you see that white floaty chunky shit? I took out the foam, and that's what's in the bottom of it. So I'm gonna have to get that out of there, whether I drain the tank and get it out, or I might remove all the bolts on this to give me a bigger area to stick my hand in there and get that shit out of there, because that's gonna go end up in the pump, plug up the filter and all that crap. So just be aware, there might be some junk in the bottom of your tank. I should have looked before we put fuel in it, but didn't. So that's that. The axles and shit should be here. probably within a week, I'd say, it'd be here. And then we'll be able to put the rear end together and get this thing on the road. Got a couple things to finish up. I got to finish up this side exhaust. I got to finish running it out, put the muffler on it, and then I just got to put a turn down on the muffler that's already mounted on that one, and that'll be done. We got these turbo guards on. Keep big shit from flying in there. It turned out pretty good, the color combination, liked it, so that was that. I put in, I think I showed earlier, but I put in a GM intake air temp sensor. Got that mounted and wired in. Got rid of the mass airflow. The slot style mass airflow that I'm running also does intake air temp, but we couldn't get the readings to correspond very well, and they're really erratic and stuff. So I just not using that. I'm just going to use the GM intake air temp sensor. So we got that squared away, and that's reading good. So I also put on some of this heat wrap on some of these lines that are going to be close to the turbo. I got the blanket I still got to put on, but it'll help keep the heat off these lines and keep them protected. Like right here for the wire for the cam sensor, that type of shit. So got that all in. Got my high speed and low speed relay setup wired in. That works good. So everything's good. So once we get our axles and shit, we'll get that stuff put in. I got the strange spool in the freezer to help shrink that down, and I'm going to heat up the bearing to a couple hundred degrees, and then it should slide right on our spool. I don't have a press to press them on, otherwise I would. So it's a little shop trick to get bearings on things like that without a press. So we're going to give that a shot here in a minute, and I'll bring you back. Okay, here we are, getting the bearings pressed onto the strange spool for the rear end. Went to Harbor Freight to get a 12-ton press. Called, said they had it in stock. Drove over there, they only had half of the kit. It's a 2-box thing, and they only had one of the boxes. So we ended up getting a 20-ton. They had that in stock. The guy, manager, whatever, gave us a $10 discount for the hassle, and there was a coupon for knock it down to $144, and he gave us $10 off. So it's almost the same price as the 12-ton after it was all said and done. This is a couple more dollars, but we got it put together, and we got our spool in here, and pressing the bearings on. I got the one, you can't see right now, but I'll go ahead and press this bearing on. Get you a shot here. She's down there. Go ahead and loosen her up. Okay. I'll pull this off, make sure we're fully seated. And it looks like we are. So we're good there. All right, so pull this out and give you a look here. There's the other bearing on there, fully seated. This is a 35 spline setup, so we won't be breaking that. But so there's a spool. Probably throw the ring gear on here, get it bolted on, and the axles and seat clip eliminator kit be on the way. Hopefully in a week we'll have all that stuff and we'll be able to get it all put together. But I'm gonna go ahead and attach the ring gear here. Okay guys, I know it's been a while, but we finally got our strange, 35 spline spool and axles and all that goodies. Got the gear set up, got the backlash and the preload and all that good stuff set up properly. Got the cover on with the jack bolts on it, tightened down on the caps to help support that. So yeah, spool and everything's all in. The side's done over here. Got the axle and the C-clip eliminator done on that side. That's all ready to go. Only thing I got left is I gotta do this side. I gotta cut that flange down a little bit and get the here, see if I can roll over there and show you. On the C-clip eliminators, you gotta go ahead and first you gotta get the axle bearing out. You gotta get that out, and then once you do, you take this caliper bracket off the stock factory one, and then in the instructions that come with it, it'll show you, but you gotta cut this off right here, make it flush with the backing plate. There's a little step that you'll see. I'll show you once I get there, but there's a little step that you want to cut flush with that. Clean it all up, make sure there's no burrs and all that crap, so you don't have to deal with leaks, because C-clip eliminators are known for having leak problems, so you have to be careful with that. But so yeah, we're on our way. Once I get this axle done, get the fluid put in it, I gotta finish that one exhaust. Just gotta run it back a little bit, put the muffler on it, and a couple hangers for it, and then we'll be good there. Slap this tire on, we'll set her on the ground and put the drive shaft in and move her under her own power for the first time. And it's been a couple years, guys, so I'm ready for it. So alright, that's our pumps there. A couple 390 pumps. So, but anyways, that's the setup. We'll be all good to go. This thing's got welded tubes, as you can see. It was welded when I got it. Both axle tubes are welded. Not the greatest looking shit, but it looks like it'll hold fine. And all that good shit. So we will go ahead and get started on this. And once I get that backing plate off, I will bring you back and show you exactly where you got to cut it. Alright. Alright, so this, I got that bracket, the caliper bracket, that thing right there, unbolted, and if you look at the instructions, I'll show you the instructions in a second, but if you look closely, you see this second lip right here. You got the back of the flange, and you got this little lip right here. You want to cut right there, all the way around, and cut that off, so you'll be flush with this. See if I can get you an angle. Yeah, you can see that second lip. You got the back of the flange here, then the second lip. So cut that off right there. You gotta get the bearing out first, though. If you have a slide hammer with a bearing puller adapter on it, you can use that. Bang it out a couple times, it should pop out. Sorry about my finger keep getting in front of the camera, but I don't have the slide hammer or the attachment for it, so what I did on the other side is I just took a like a punch or even a screwdriver and bust this inner cage up and get all these little bearings out. Get the cage and the bearing out. That'll leave the race in there. And I took my oxyacetylene torch set and just put some heat all the way around here, get it nice and hot. And then I just took this, it's just a nice lengthy crowbar, and all I did is stick this end in there, get it behind, see if I can get you a shot, get it right there behind the race, and then when it's hot, just give it a couple yanks and it'll come right out. No problem. So that's what I do. If you have the proper tool, use that. If not, you can compensate with this, and that'll get it out. So I'm gonna do that, and then once that's out, I'll get this cut off and get it cleaned up, so that way our C-cup eliminator seal, we don't have to deal with a bunch of leaks. So that's the next step. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and then we'll bring it back. All right, we finally got her out. It was a little of a fight, but there she is. Like I said, makes it easier if you cut off. You gotta cut this off anyway for the C-clip eliminator kit. So if you cut off kind of flush with the bearing race, so you can get in there with the crowbar or whatever and get a better leverage on it. And then I just take the torch with the rosebud tip on it, heat it up, all the way around this, get it nice and cherry hot. And then all you do is stick your crowbar or whatever in there, catch the lip of it, and just pry it out, and it'll pop out. And you turn around, get the other side, and just keep walking it out, and it'll come out eventually. But so there it is, and I've got a little bit left to cut off, and I'll show you the instructions that come with the strange C-clip eliminator kit. I'm sure you can probably find them online too, but so look here. This is the end. This is your axle tube. Okay, your bearing was right in there, and then that's the snout that comes out. You see here, you got the backing plate register, which is that little notch that you're going to cut flush with. Okay, so anything that's red right here got to be cut. So you'll have the backing flange, and then you have that little tiny register, the little hump right there. You want to cut that flush right there, and then you're done with that. Okay, so everything in the red got to go. And for reference, this is where the bearing used to be. So I've cut off this much already on that side to get to the bearing. The bearing's out. I got to cut flush with here. So then this is the assembly order. Okay, this is the end of the flange on the axle. You put the gasket that they give you. Okay, and then the bracket on this car, it's a bracket. If you have drum brakes, you won't need this bracket. You can just take the drum off, take the backing plate off, and just slide that in. So, but on this one, 04 with disc brakes, you put the bracket on. That goes on. I lathered this with some silicone to help seal that up, both sides of this gasket. Just extra insurance to keep this thing from leaking, because, like I said, they're prone to leak. So anything you can do to help it to not leak, you're one step ahead. So, okay, the flange goes on. Then the wedding ring, they call it, goes on. And then, the actual eliminator bearing, whatever you want to call it, deal, which will be pressed on your hub anyways. Okay, this has to be pressed on to, pressed onto your axle and everything there. This is the trigger wheel if you have ABS. We don't have ABS in this car, so we don't have that. But so yeah, that's the order, and that's what you got to cut off. So we'll go ahead and finish cutting that off, and then we'll come back. All right, we got her together. We are ready to rock and roll on the rear end. Got both sides done, both axles in, spool and gears, and I got her filled up, so she's ready to rock and roll. And let's see what else we got going on. Got a mess out here, but so just need to finish this one exhaust right here. Underneath, it's already underneath the car. Just gotta run it back, put the muffler. You can't think. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Gotta put the muffler on and the cut out, and then do the turn down, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So that's about where we're at, man. We'll be doing some street tuning here shortly, so we'll have some video running it in down the street. We gotta finish breaking in the motor, get the gears broken, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll, take it to the track. So stay tuned, everybody. It's gonna get fun here real quick. So I will see you in a few days. Thanks for watching. Also wanted to say apologize for being so long in between the videos. I just been busy and it's been little knickknacks with the car and stuff, so not a lot that I could film or that was interesting probably to anybody. So, but we got the axle in, we got a few goodies on. We're getting to the point we can put it on the ground and take her out on the street. So, like I said earlier, stay tuned. We're gonna have some street tuning videos soon. Then we'll be out at the track shooting for 9. So, yeah, subscribe, man, like, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that watches and is interested in this Ford mod motor stuff, because not a lot of people, mess with the mod motor stuff. So, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go in, go to sleep, and we'll hit this again tomorrow and hopefully get her damn near finished up. So, all right, guys, we'll see you later.